Control a massive army of corpses and guide them into battle from above. Create illusions to trick your enemies, or maybe just mess with your friends. Disguise yourself as other mobs and change the way that mobs interact with you, and launch around anyone that you cut. This is the power of Justice. Out of all of Roundabout's main stands, Justice plays the most differently. It sort of functions as one big necromancy system, where you kill mobs to collect their corpses, and use their corpses to fight. Justice is capable of turning the game into a top-down strategy game, in which you can give your units direct orders and assign them different behaviors. But the stand is also fully playable in first person, and you absolutely fight better alongside your army. Alright, now let's get into how to use Justice. The first thing that you're going to want to do is use a little iron to craft a pair of scissors. Scissors are basically going to be your go-to weapon as a Justice user. They inflict bleed on mobs, and this is invaluable because once your fog is active, you can fling bleeding mobs in the direction you're looking by pressing X. So if you see a pool of lava, you can fling them right into danger. No questions asked. Your fog is basically the thing that enables most of your powers, and you can activate it by pressing Z. It spans in a 100-block radius, and hides your name tag while it's active. Alright, now let's get into gathering your army. When you have Justice equipped, the scissors that you crafted will be able to harvest corpses. When you activate the fog, your corpses will rise up and attack whatever you're currently fighting. You can store your corpses by crafting a body bag. If you're holding a body bag and you touch a corpse, the body bag will pick it up, but only if the corpse is at full health. There are 6 types of corpses for you to collect and use in battle, and you can have over 10 of them activated at once. Zombie corpses are your most basic infantry. Since zombies and husks are common, you can get them the most easily. And unlike actual zombies, corpses don't burn in the sunlight. Zombie corpses can be handed-held items. If they're handed a weapon, they will use that weapon, but they will trade off their armor-piercing properties. If they're handed a pickaxe, you can actually enter control mode and make them mine. They can even place blocks down. Villager corpses are very similar to zombie corpses. They trade off a little damage for an increased speed. You can acquire them from illagers you fight during raids. So during a raid, your army will automatically be replenishing itself if you fight alongside them. You can also technically just massacre villages for them, but that's not very nice. You monster. Having corpses that move at different speeds naturally makes your army more difficult to fight. And that being said, spider corpses are the fastest corpses, even faster than the villager corpses. They're unique in their ability to climb up walls, and you can even right-click them to ride them as a mount. And that goes insanely hard if you're wielding a glaive. You can use the spider corpse's ability to climb up walls while you're riding it, and so it's very good for traversing caves. Skeleton corpses are your army's archers. Naturally, they're very useful at a long range, but be careful because their arrows can hit your other corpses or even yourself. This is a balancing factor, but one good strategy for using skeleton corpses is to mix them with spider corpses, since spiders are too short to get hit by the arrows. Creeper corpses are incredibly dangerous because they really are just creepers. And they also penetrate through armor, so there's that. Be very careful in using them. They are dangerous to you and your army, so the best play is to send them out individually. You can do this by entering control mode, which I'll explain in a bit. And in this mode, you can right-click them to make them explode directly. So you can just make them walk into a crowd of mobs and explode. And you can also use them to break down walls. With your fog chain ability, you can also pull mobs right into the blast range, so they do have some serious potential. And lastly, we have the phantom corpses. They can be ridden at nighttime in the overworld, and that lets you fly across the night sky, which gives them power. They are certainly not your most powerful corpses, but they're worth it just for this. Just be careful because the harpoon item in the mod seeks out phantoms and players who are using elytras. It has an aggressive homing, so you can easily be sniped out of the air in a server. Individually, these corpses are pretty strong, but they become very strong when you start using them together. Especially if you lean on your fog chain ability to throw enemies directly into them. And we're only scratching the surface here because Justice has a control mode that changes the way you play the game entirely. If you press V, you take direct control of Justice and play as the stand. You can then start piloting it around in the air, and you can make it fly out as far as 100 blocks. Not only does this give you an excellent bird's eye view of the world, but it also lets you control your corpses directly. Left-clicking corpses selects them, and once they're selected, you can right-click to make them walk over to your cursor. If you left-click a mob while you have a corpse selected, your corpse will then begin attacking that mob. And if you press the C key, you'll be able to instantly highlight or deselect all of your corpses, on top of having an entire strategy menu to change the way your corpses act. These options apply to all highlighted corpses. The follow option makes the corpse follow you around like a wolf. Stay put is the default setting, and it makes the corpse stand still until it finds something to attack. The hold setting is similar, but once the corpse finds something to attack, it will continue standing in place. This is useful if you need something to strictly stand guard, or stay still to shoot like a skeleton. The roam option makes the corpse walk around like the standard mob AI. Defend is the default aggro behavior of the corpses. Basically, it makes them protect you if you get attacked, and it also attacks the things that you attack. Hunt target makes it completely ignore the things that attack you, opting to exclusively attack the things that you make it attack in third-person mode. Hunt monsters makes your corpse proactively look for monsters, while hunt players makes them attack all players that it finds. Stand down makes them friendly. At some point you have to remember these are puppets, so they're not actually living things. You also have the option to destroy all corpses. So if someone planted a ton of corpses underground to try and prevent you from using your own, you can just smite them down right here. There is also a cackle button, and yes, this is very necessary. Lastly on this menu, there is a team color option, and this lets you cycle the skins of your army. You can make them look as they're intended to look, or you can make them look like vanilla Minecraft mobs. You can also choose between 3 different team colors if you want to give them a more medieval look, since the gameplay of this stand was greatly inspired by Fire Emblem. The team colors are essential for differentiating units if 2 players have Justice. So that's everything you can do with your army. But Justice has way more abilities than just its corpses. For starters, if you sneak and press X, you open a special menu that lets you grab unlimited illusion blocks. Illusion blocks are fake blocks that only Justice users can utilize. You can walk through them like they're air, and they can be broken in a single punch. But on top of looking real, mobs believe they're real. So it then becomes very easy to trick a mob into falling down a pit, or to make it stuck in a wall that it believes exists. When you turn the fog off, all the illusion blocks begin to disappear, and when you turn it back on, they all begin to reappear. This creates the same cinematic effect in the anime where when Justice is defeated, its illusion is lifted from a town. And because these blocks technically remain here, it becomes viable to build with a lot of these around your base. You can even coat sides of blocks in fog coating to make a block look like another block. So the potential for traps here is pretty insane, and this aspect will be very fun in multiplayer. You can also use fog blocks as a building tool to test what looks good on a house before committing to building it, because technically you can place these blocks while piloting Justice, and that means you can fly around and place and break them insanely fast. Not to mention it's effortless to place blocks over them, because they're fake blocks. You can also place a fog trap to make mobs that step on it alert all nearby corpses to attack them. In the way of combat, Justice has a fog clone ability. Fog clones are fake copies of yourself that walk in a straight line. Or are they? The trick is, you are actually pretty sharp as a Justice user. So if a mob hits you while you have a fog clone, they actually hit one of your illusions. And the last fog clone standing is always the real one. Nani? So that means you can literally finish eating food for free while mobs or players are scrambling to attack all your clones. What might seem like a dumb, simple ability quickly becomes your ultimate defensive option, even being a good measure to reduce the damage done to you during time stop. The only limit it has is if you attack someone, you're obviously the real one, so your other clones disappear. Justice also passively increases your attack and mining speed when it's active, to emulate the supernatural speeds which Enya fought at. Last but not least is Justice's ability to illusion morph into other mobs. You have access to 3 disguises as you level up the stand. You can access them by sneaking and pressing Z. There are 3 disguises: Zombie, Skeleton, and Villager. All of these disguises make you actually look like the mobs, and even hide your held items. The zombie disguise makes zombies neutral to you. It also makes villagers afraid of you, and iron golems attack you. The skeleton disguise makes skeletons neutral to you. It also makes wolves quite hungry. The villager disguise makes your villager trades fixed at a good level. It also makes iron golems passive to you. All disguises prevent your reputation with villagers from changing, no matter how heinous your actions are, because they really just don't know it's you. I also left in a little Easter egg where if you use the inhale ability with Star Platinum, justice eventually goes away and the user starts to suffocate. But fear not, you can quickly unsummon and resummon your stand to prevent this from happening. Justice has a lot of awesome skins to go along with it. With a secret skin, you can get from summoning the stand in a certain nether biome. Some of the skins even change Justice's disguise. For instance, the OVA skin makes you look like you have Enya's OVA disguise, which is what the ability is based on to begin with. You can also get a stray skin, which gives you a stray disguise, and a very spooky disguise. So that's Justice, possibly the most complicated stand in Roundabout. It also took the longest to make, but it has also been the least talked about stand I have added thus far. I believe this is a combination of players not understanding how the stand works, and a general lack of interest in the stand from the source material. So hopefully with this video, people will begin to appreciate the complete game-changing insanity that is Justice. If you're enjoying the work I'm putting out in this project, you can support me by dropping a like, leaving a comment, and subscribing to this channel. And for those who are new to the mod, hello there! Welcome to Roundabout. It's a mod I've been working on for over a year, and it can be downloaded from CurseForge and Modrinth. I'll leave the links to those in the description of this video. We also have a Discord that you can join to follow the progress of the mod and what's going to be added next. So if you want all of the details, feel free to join our little community. As for channel updates, the next video I'm going to put out is going to cover some of those plans, but also answer questions that I've been getting a lot. So yeah, that's about all I want to talk about in this video. Take care everyone, and have a wonderful day.